Well, I thought I'd show you a little video on how we decorated up this 1928 original Chevrolet for a lighted nighttime parade. Started with an idea of just keeping it kind of simple. I wanted to follow the body lines of the car and the windows. So we went with red lights. I used 6 strings of red LEDs. I started right here and I run an extension cord into the hood and under the floor. It's got a wooden floor, so I came up underneath the front seat and put my power supply in there. I crisscrossed back and forth across the front bumper a couple times, and I came over here and I started following the fender line. I used these metal paper clips. They're called a bulldog clip. They come in a variety of sizes, like a 1 or 1 1/4. There's a 3/4, and then there's a little 1/2 inch little guy. They work very well for following and holding underneath that lip. On the paint side, we put a piece of black tape so we would not damage the paint. So we followed the body line, came up and around the rear wheels. I looped it back and forth onto the bumper a couple times, and then I jumped up to the drip rail. Along that jump that I did to the drip rail, I blacked out every light so that they would not be visible in the dark. I came down off the drip rail and we picked up the window. At the window, I used them little plastic command strips, and they pull away. I did not like them on the paint. I tried one very low in a corner, and after leaving it sit overnight, I removed it, and it kind of just took all the dirt with it, and it left a nice little clean rectangle. And I didn't like that. I didn't want to have to try to buff out the paint on this old girl. It's all original paint. The roof's original. Interior's original. Didn't want to damage nothing. So then I followed the drip rail along. Came across to the corner here at the front door, and we wanted to leave the windows open because we were going to throw candy to kids. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? So I left the window down about 1 inch to the bottom. I used command strips, and then we just took elastic and we wound elastic around the door frame, pulling the lights tight up to it, and it worked very well. I can open and close the door without any problem. The nice little tiny bulldog clips worked very good up in the drip rail, and I was allowed to clear the door. We got to the window, the front windshield. Again, I went with the command strips and I did an outline for the windshield. Came up over to this corner, picked up the visor, went across the visor, turned it up, and just pulled it tight across the back of the visor. Worked very well. Did the same thing on the other door. Got to the drip rail, came down, used that elastic to tie it in, command strips down along the bottom lip, pulled it, opened the door just fine. Came around, did the same thing again with the rear window. We added a little bow just because during the parade we knew that we were going to be underneath a lot of street lights, so we just wanted to direct decorate it up a little bit. I brought the line down again to the bumper, followed the bumper around again, and then we came in, picked up the wheel well, followed the running board, came up around the front fender again, pulled it down, came up. I did 3 loops around the headlight, and I traveled across, did 3 loops around the headlight, and I had enough to come back one more time around. And then I needed a way to tie them up, and they had these twist ties left over from all the lights, and I just kind of made a little harness, pulled them tight up to the front, nothing fell off. As we were pulling this together, we had went up looking for some ideas for decorations. We came up with a bow and a bell. And on first time we did when we got the red lights on it, and without anything on the bow or the bell, it just didn't pop at night. So then got these little battery ops. You just turn them on, and I guess they don't even light up in the daylight very well, but they sure popped at night. And I put 2 battery ops down on this one. I put a red. The switch is right there. And another one, the switch is over here. And you can just see the greens maybe and the reds in the daylight. But at night, it really pops. I was very pleased in the outcome of that. As you notice, there's a couple of speakers laying here. We were also playing music as we were driving along. And then there's one other thing that I did, because I was just, as I did a few pictures before getting everything ready, and I was walking around it, I had a string of green, because we didn't know for sure green or red. And I laid a string of green in and safely laid it in so it didn't get into anything. And then at night, when the lights were on, and I would drive by, it would just twinkle and sparkle underneath the hood. For the wheels, I had thought of something I wanted to do with the wheels, and we went looking, and we were just in the stores looking around, and they had these snowflakes, and I thought, wow, that would really look nice. So again, got some battery ops and put some white lights in. Again, at night, they pop very well. I had to come up with a simple way to fasten them in. Some bungee cords wrapped around, and I just hooked them in on the lugs that hold the rim in place. It worked out, again, very well. You just got to use your imagination and a little ingenuity, and it's amazing the things you can come up with to figure out how to make things work for you. So we had the front all taken care of. We got lucky. We went to town and we came across this wreath, and it lights up, and it fit very well over that spare tire. And with the red headlight, the tail light shining through there, you didn't even notice it. It was just like it was added and meant to be there. I had picked up this neon looking Merry Christmas sign a year ago or so, and I was like, how can we incorporate that? And my wife said, well, let's put it up in the rear window. And I thought, you know what, that'll fit really nice. Again, command strips, they got big hooks on the glass. They work well. I'll just pull them off when I'm done, and you won't even know they were there. Just a great little item. I love it. So we had all that. Now you're probably wondering, what did he do for power? Well, I wasn't going to run a generator, and I had a little 12 volt inverter. It was capable of doing 150 watts, and it also had a USB port, so if I needed to plug my phone in, ran up to a local store and I bought this little cigarette adapter that clamps right onto the battery posts. That worked great. I had, battery post clamps are for my radio. I had to make that piece. This one here, I have a marine battery in, and it went right and clamped right into the terminals for the marine battery. I had a little stereo head that I had bought a number of years ago. It was cheap. It was in clearance, like 20 bucks. I thought, well, I could put that in my pontoon or in my Firebird. I ended up putting a different one in my Firebird. So wired that in quick. Ran that. Again, you can see the speaker wires running, and they go down underneath the seat. And I got the one extension cord running up over there, going to the back. And I got a power strip here because I got 2 extension cords. plugged in. And then I can just flicker the switch here. That'll light up all my reds. See if it shows up in the daylight at all. You can see red lights are on. Looked in on under here, under the hood, through the louvers on the side. That shows up. Got all the reds lit up now. Again, walk over to the side, and as you can see, there it goes. It twinkles through there. And at night, when you look directly down in through the radiator, you'll catch a twinkle of green. Pretty neat, I thought. We were really happy with the way the car came out. As we were sharing some pictures with people, the one word we got was amazing. It just turned out beautiful. If you haven't seen my video of a 360 walk around with it lit up, look it up. Check out my site. It really turned out nice. And I have one more where we're driving it from the house down here to the shop. Just thought I'd share a little information. If you ever get a chance to decorate up your classic car, your tractor, or whatever it may be, and maybe you just want to let it sit out in the yard as an ornament, I've taken this and just sat it out parked by the house a few evenings. Hope you learned a little bit of this, and thank you for watching.